there, tankers. Seattle Forge here, and happy Canada Day. It is July 1st, 2019. Canada is another year older. Not the land of my birth, but certainly the land of my upbringing. I was lucky enough to be born to an American father in Detroit, Michigan, and a Canadian mother. And then at a certain age, they decided the boy should go to school in Canada. So we moved a whole 10 miles away where I grew up in lovely Tecumseh, Ontario, and went to school and learned how to spell correctly and learned proper respect for Her Majesty and learned a proper understanding of American history. And it was great. It's great. But for the last 19 years, I've lived here in Seattle, Washington, in the United States of America, and this Panterra, switching topics quickly, this Panterra is probably my favorite tier 8 medium. Bar none. I kind of like that new Udez. Previously to this tank, most of the tier 8 mediums are pretty samey, except for the 416, which is really a tank destroyer. Pardon me. And I just couldn't help myself and decided I needed to make a Canada Day Tanks video, and this game wasn't half bad. I didn't fuck up. I fucked up in a lot of the games tonight, and I certainly learned my lesson. It was like, okay, play less stupidly. Play with less abandon. Play with less fun, perhaps. But this actually worked out to be both. Panterra is just a delight. It's mobile. Gun is flexible and has this great auto reloader mechanic, which is fantastic. And you do see that I do try to manage to just shoot that first shell and wait for it to reload back to maintain DPM, because it lowers if you empty your clip. But when I get the opportunity, like I do up here with this 53 TP, I'm not afraid to dump it out, make things happen. Bam. It only has 240 alpha average, so, you know, the unload's not amazing, but, you know, it's alright. It's alright. Can make it happen, and I can sit here and now make my reload 3-2. We do have a couple Unicums on our team, and that does, of course, make things a lot easier. So I knew I was competing for damage, but I'm like, you know what? But don't throw your tank away. You've done that a few times tonight, so here I am, ducking back. Probably a little late for those of you on Reddit who like to criticize, but you know, I did get back and I didn't get hit, so shove it. But we're going to try and work this side, and my buddy Montana Grizzly is in his Lynx 6x6, and he unfortunately gets cooked by the 416, one of the very unusual tier 8 medium tanks that has a suspiciously disgusting gun on a very inflexible platform. So it is I use auto aim a lot, especially late in the evening, because I'm old. And for those of you who don't know what old feels like, just imagine you can't see, and you can't react, and you're scared and cold all the time. So you do what you have to do, and auto aim is one of those tools I use to help when the game's moving a bit fast, because I am old. The only alternative is dead, so do this. Alright, so I wanted this charioteer. I knew I didn't want to fight the defender. I wanted the charioteer, and I do manage to put 3 into him, and I dump out my clip, so I got to play back, and I'm hoping the KV5 is going to help me out. The charioteer does snap one into me. What are you going to do? But I'm going to wait. Oh, no, he's down to 14 hit points. And the KV5 could have him, but I could also have him. The KV5 stops. I hesitate. But then I decide it's time to go in and make this guy pay before he gets away. So we auto-aim him, and bam. This thing, the gun is lovely. The handling is lovely. The handling is not lovely all the way up the line, but the Italian line is pretty forgiving. And of course now I have the ass. I have the ass of the defender. And I set him on fire, which of course is going to add to my damage total nicely. And damage total in this game is not amazing, but don't forget, I'm competing with some really good players to trying to get damage, and luckily I get to put the defender away. It's 13-7. This team is melting before our eyes, and I think the last spotted kind of coming up, so they're probably on the beach, and that'll give me a chance to reload make my way down. I had a Monday. It's a Monday, and I had a lovely night. A friend of mine called me up, said, "Oh my God, kids are out of town. Work's crazy." And I'm like, "Can I take you to dinner?" And she said, "Yeah." So we go out to dinner, and I had amazing. If you're lucky, in post video, I will post some pictures of the dinner. Seattle is a great seafood town, of course, and it's amazing sushi. And that's all she wrote. 50-7. Happy Canada Day. Even if you're not from Canada, happy Canada Day, and I hope it was a good one. And happy Monday. And talk to you all again soon. So nice game, first class fighter, some other stuff, but fun that I took out the driver and the loader and the charioteer, and I took out the fuel tank, the engine, track, of course, on the defender, shooting him in the butthole. That was kind of fun, and of course the ammo, I took out his gun. That's crazy, and I took out the gun on the Lynx 6x6. Didn't I shoot them from behind? No, the ML I actually did shoot in the mantlet, I think, and I couldn't believe that went in. Yeah, so that's how that went. Happy Canada Day! I come in on top for damage on both teams. That's pretty happy. 5 kills, 2,993 damage, and 1,244 XP, which nets me a first class. This tank's obviously being paid pretty well. It's very strong for its tier. I highly recommend the Italian line for fun. I'm really eager to get that tier 9, but not enough to free XP anything to get there. The Panther, the P44 Panterra is actually a load of fun to play. It's a pleasure at tier 8, and I highly recommend it. So I only fired AP in this game, and of 16 shots fired, 15 penned. Crazy. And still managed to make 55,000 credits. 55,000 credits. I did have a reserves bonus in this. It certainly helped a lot, and I do run a premium account, so that's always nice. And it was just a whack load of experience, especially when I did the times 3 or whatever, just pile on at the end for 5 of your wins in a day. Crazy. I don't know if this is a keeper because I have the Progetto, which is actually a little better than this, but if the Progetto didn't exist, this tank would totally be a keeper. Anyway, happy Canada Day. Happy Dominion Day. Canada is an example to the world. Certainly an example of the country I live in now. And I hope you have a good one. Cheers.